Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So, in this video, I would like to discuss about the effect of Movement Control Order, which had been announced by our beloved Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin since March 2020 until now. The MCO is one of the ways that being taken to contain the spread of the novel coronavirus, which also known as COVID-19. So, before I begin to talk about that, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Izzat Fakri bin Halimi. I am 22 years old. I born in Sarawak and raised in Perak. Two state in one time. Unbelievable. Previously, I studied at College Islam Sultan Alam Shah Kelang, and then after the result of SPM had been announced, I pursued my study to diploma program in law at University of Sultan Zainal Abidin. Now, I am currently pursuing my degree in law at the same beautiful and wonderful university. Wonderful. What have inspired me to pursue my study in law is my father is a teacher and my mom also a teacher. And I was a student of science stream during my secondary school, and what that means is I had a couple of options in life. I could have been a teacher, I could have been a doctor, I can have been an engineer, or I could have been a disappointment. So knowing that I had no maths and science abilities, I chose the legal journey. This journey makes me know that the challenges within itself is very difficult and tough. It's very unique challenge that only me and my family can experience, and that only I can talk about. From now on, I will strive to be a good student and also a good lawyer in future, no matter how hard it will be. So, moving on to the issue of the MCO, which affect the businesses in our country, especially in terms of a contract or an agreement, it leads to the issue of whether the MCO could cause breach of contract. The recently announced movement control order by the government of Malaysia to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus will very likely affect businesses. So, we can see that many of the businesses has been wound up and bankrupt because of the MCO. So, in answering the issue of whether the MCO could cause breach of contract, we must first check that the contract, whether there is any force majeure clauses in the contract. So, what is force majeure? Force majeure is a clause that is included in contracts to remove liability for natural and unavoidable catastrophes that interrupt the expected course of events and prevent participants from fulfilling obligations. If there is one, consider if the force majeure clause covers events like pandemics, epidemics, or diseases for this COVID-19 situation, or the catch-all phrase beyond the reasonable control of the parties. We need to check if these clauses provide for specific timelines, notification, or procedures to suspend the contractual obligations. We also need to check the termination clause in the agreement to determine if it allows for no-fault termination or termination due to force majeure. If the contract does not contain a force majeure clause, the contract could be discharged on the grounds of frustration, upon which the contract will become void. So, according to Section 57 Contract Act 1950, a contract is said to be frustrated where there is a change in the circumstance or supervening or subsequent to the formation of the contract which renders a contract legally or physically impossible to perform. For a contract to be discharged by frustration, the event or change in circumstances upon which a party claims to have frustrated the contract must not have been one for which provisions has been made in the contract. The event or change in circumstances also must be one for which the party is not responsible for or self-induced. We can see in the case of Guain Aidmoh KL Citizen Berhad against Langor Properties, the event or change in circumstances must be such that renders the performance of a contract radically different from what was originally undertaken, to the extent that the court must find it unjust to enforce the original promise. However, the doctrine of frustration can only be applied within very narrow limits. a contract is not frustrated merely because it becomes difficult to perform. This was stated in the case of Pacific Forest Industries Sdn Bhd against Lin Wenqi. Businesses which is intending to claim frustration of contract in light of the restricted movement order should do so with caution and ensure that the restricted movement order not only makes it difficult, inconvenient, or onerous to perform a contract, but that it renders the performance of a contract impossible. This is not mission impossible. If the element under frustration is not sufficient to prove the frustrated, it is likely to be in breach of contract. This may allow the other party to terminate the contract or seek damages or other contractual remedies. But if the party insists to form contract during MCO, they must include force majeure provision. So, apart from that, Section 7 of the COVID Act also can be applied here. The government provides any businesses that fall in the categories of contract set out in the Schedule 2 Part 2 of the COVID Act should go through the mediation process. This mediation process can be found in Section 9 of the COVID Act. Upon the conclusion of mediation and the reaching of an agreement by the parties regarding a dispute, the parties are required to enter into a settlement agreement which shall be in writing and signed by the parties. The mediator shall authenticate the settlement agreement, which shall be binding on the parties, and furnish a copy of the agreement to the parties. Thanks for watching. Assalamualaikum.